Okay, welcome. Casey Neistat and his wife Candace got a ticket for vlogging while driving. Yeah, vlogging while driving in California is illegal. But I'm not in California. I'm in Tennessee, and I don't think they know what vlogging is around here. So I'm safe. Although I have had cops, look at me. What are you doing? Why are you talking to your dad? And I've had thousands and thousands of people give me funny looks. So it's not big in Tennessee. But this is the perfect opportunity for me to do it because I spend most of my working day in my car or my truck. Anyhow, let's get on with this video here. We're going to do a little bit different this time. I'm going to run the video, run the run out up to the 7 ball, and I'm not going to commentate in it, and I'm going to ask you to pick out the 2 mistakes. I make 2 glaring mistakes between the 1 ball and the 6 ball, and see if you can find them on your own. And if you can't, rewind it and look at it again. I don't think it'll be hard for you to find. They're positional errors. Yeah, I mean, I didn't miss any shots or anything. It's just had to work to get back in line. And it could have been a lot easier. So you tell me how I could have done it right. Or just tell yourself. After that, we'll analyze it together and we'll find the answer. Anyhow, let's get on with it. Alright, did you find them? They're pretty glaring mistakes, and it's just a mismanaged cue ball, which is usually the case. Before we start with that, let's look at this table. We have the cue ball in the center of the table for once. The ones here, the 1 to the 2, 2 to the 3, 3 to the 4, 4 to the 5, 5 to the 6, 6 to the 7, 7 to the 8, and the 8 to the 9. This 2 ball down here does go by this 7, so you don't have to worry about that. Once that's determined, there's no really big glaring life or death issues here. There's no balls we have to break out. Nothing's set up for a combination that we have to avoid. It's really, I mean, if you look at the rack, it's pretty basic. And I make it a lot harder on myself than I had to. This could have been easy, and I made it hard, and that's what we tend to do. It keeps us in chains. You know, if we can learn to keep things easier, our lives would be a whole lot better. So, alright, enough of the yakking. Let's go ahead and start with it. And again, there's 2 mistakes from here to the 7 ball. And that was one of them. And let's go back to the start of this shot. And you can say I came off the rail and hit the 9. I thought for some reason I could avoid this 9 because I was skimming it thin enough to avoid it, but I was wrong. And I realized I was wrong right as I was pulling the trigger on that shot. I didn't put any English on it at all. It was just center ball. And the correct thing, and I was trying to get out the center of the table. The correct thing to do is put right hand English on this and spin it off this rail. Not in that direction, but to kill that angle in that direction. Just a little bit of right would have avoided the 9 and came out perfectly at center table. So there's one mistake. Yeah, that could have been a disaster if if I had hit that 9 ball a little more full, it would have rolled right in the way of the cue ball, and then we would have had to jump it. And I don't think you guys have seen me jump yet. Lately, my opponents have been putting me in jump shot situations, and I'm thinking that I couldn't jump when I can. I used to do it a lot. It just hasn't come up in any of these videos, but I'm sure it will eventually. Anyway, I'm straight in on this too. It's literally straight in. So the only option I have to get on this cue ball is a draw stroke to draw it back to straight in on this 3. And that's easier said than done. If you ever drew a ball at this distance, you're looking at a good 6 feet here. Well, 5 feet. It's tough. It's tough to keep the cue ball spinning all the way down to the 2 balls and to make the 2 ball and draw back up. It's a very tough shot. And you got to put a good stroke on it, which is what I did. I stayed down this stroke. It's probably one of the straightest strokes you've seen on YouTube. It's long, it's straight, it's got that pause in the back, and it was a good shot. I have a little bit of an angle here off this 3. I have to go to this rail here, and I have to put left hand English on this to kill the natural angle coming up behind the 6. You don't want that. You want to get on the left side of the 6 coming back for a good shot on the 4, although we are going to be at an angle on the 4 too. It jumped ahead on me. Yeah, you barely touch this mouse and it jumps ahead. I'm going to have to use my other mouse to start making these videos. Here I am with a choice. I could go 3 rails on this and take a chance of hitting this 6 ball. Just by putting left hand English on this and coming this rail, and back out here. I don't really see much of a sense in taking that chance when I could just wuss this in, just roll it in, and settle for the long shot on the 5, which is, I'm still undetermined, and I'm sure you guys have done that. You don't really know what you're going to do as you get down on the ball. And I caught myself doing that. It's like when you're down this far on the ball, it's not time to make decisions yet. You should be making decisions as you're up and looking at the angle and lining up the shot, and never while you're down. And I caught myself doing that. That's an amateur mistake. And I said, John, quit stand back up, figure out what you're going to do, and then get down and do it. So that's where we are here, and I decide to take the safe route and just cut it in and just roll up and take the long shot on the 5. Now here you're going to see me make the second mistake, and this shot's a little bit confusing. I didn't put anything but bottom English, straight bottom on it, and I drew it back up to right around, somewhere around the side pocket, and I wasn't playing it to play this combination. I don't set up combinations, I avoid combinations. So what do you do here? The correct thing to do here is put right hand English on it with a little bit of bottom, just a hair of bottom, just enough to keep it from rolling forward, and use this rail with right hand English to spin it counterclockwise and bounce off this rail into position for this 6 ball. You need to come off this rail. So I didn't really use the rail. I just drew back up like this, just because I just wasn't thinking. I just had a senior moment and just decided, let's just shoot this 5 ball and make it. And that's always the wrong thing to do. So, yeah, maybe a lack of concentration, maybe taking it for granted, I don't know. But this is not an easy shot, and we're almost straight in. We don't have, that's the problem with this shot. You hit a stun shot, and it's barely going to make it to the rail. So you're going to have to juice it. Again, you don't want to put left-hand English on this. It's going to spin it clockwise, and it's going to send it down in this direction. So right-hand English will bounce it off this rail and pull it back for a shot on the 6 ball. So here comes our second glaring mistake. I hope you caught that. I'm sure you did when you saw the position on the 6 ball. And now, left hand bottom English is I'm shooting this with a lot of bottom, and that bottom left will deflect the cue ball. Let's get it to stop here. That's where it winds up, right in front of the side pocket. Yeah, left will deflect this cue ball in this direction, and that will help me cut the paint off this 6 ball. Is a really hard cut. And being the cue ball is going to be spinning clockwise with bottom left is what I'm putting on it. It's coming on this angle, and that will help it spin it 3 rails back onto the 7 ball. So this is a finesse shot, but I really don't have much of an option other than to finesse the hell out of this ball. And this is a situation where deflection can help you instead of hurting you, if you know what it is and what it's doing. I actually made a video somewhere back there in the archives called Make Friends with Deflection. You guys hated it. Yeah, the players hated it. They're like, I'm not making friends with deflection. What a stupid title. And I don't blame you. I mean, it's been made out to be the most evil thing in pool. And now there's all these low deflection shafts and stuff. And everybody's worried about deflection when you can use it to help you. So that's where that title came from, Make Friends with Deflection. Didn't have many likes. I don't think it had any comments. I had a couple dislikes, actually. So, yeah, I use it. And you can use it too. And here's the case where you can use it, where you're spinning the 6 ball in and cutting the paint off it at the same time. So, yeah, clockwise English is only going to work on this shot if you're coming down and at an angle on this rail here. If you're coming straight across, it's going to kill the ball. If you're going up table, it's going to kill the ball. As long as you have an angle coming off that 6 ball, coming in this direction, it's going to grab that rail, because it's spinning clockwise, and it's going to help you spin it 3 rails back up on the 7. So I get a little smirk here before we continue. Yeah, I'm acknowledging you guys. It's like, yeah, I know I'm struggling, but alright, I'm going to pause it right here, and we're going to replay the whole rack one more time, all the way through, from start to finish, and without the commentary, without interruptions. And we're going to stick some bluesy music in the background and just sit back and enjoy it. The rest of this rack should be easy. I think I got through the hard part. Yeah, it looks that way to me, but you never know, man. You can't let up.